purpose of this festival? Why are we making a mountain of food? Why are we going to then offer worship and then dance around this mountain of food? This is all maybe a question. Maybe one of you will have. And I'm going to tell you two stories. One story happened 600 years ago, and then one story happened 5,000 plus years ago. And they're both related. So why is this Annakut? If you go to Vrindavan, the place where Krishna is worshipped, and this is his home place, this festival is celebrated every year in a very, very big way in Vrindavan, this Annakut Govardhana Puja festival. So this is happening all over. And why did this start happening? It actually got popular acclaim. I need something better than you guys just see. Actually, we don't even need to see this. Maybe Madhav, you can get some photo of Krishna lifting a mountain or something. That's nice.
That'd be very nice.
That'd be very
Wait,
good.
you're handing me this first?
Yeah, just put a picture up there.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So, does everyone know who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is? Okay, not a little brief. Krishna, God, he's very interested in human beings having the opportunity to have spiritual happiness. But in order for the human being to have spiritual happiness, he will have to come time to time to help us. Or if he does not come, he'll send his direct representative or his son or someone very dear and near to him to connect. So there's many saints and sages who the Lord is actually always sending. And even every one of us, we're humbly trying to be representatives of the Lord. That's the work of the devotee. But when there's a shortage of devotees, the Lord will come himself. And that's his promise. If there's a shortage where the people need the Lord, he'll come. So just maybe 500 something years ago, the Lord personally came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But interestingly enough, when the Lord comes, he acts way different than we'd think he'd come. You'd think he'd come and just start ruling everything and, like everyone get in line, do this, serve me, worship me, bow to me like this. Maybe if we were God, we would act like that. But the Lord actually acts in very, very unique and inexplicable ways. You can't really explain how he acts. But oftentimes he goes along with the societal norms and paradigms and things. So he actually, interestingly enough, he had a guru. He had a teacher. And why? Because he shows us by example, this is how we make advancement. We also have gurus. And interestingly enough, his guru's guru actually started this festival. His guru's guru started this festival. So I'm going to tell a story of how he started this festival. So I don't know if you can see on the altar, the three gentlemen on the left, they're dressed in white. So they've done something called taking Babaji Vesh. Taking the dress of Babas. Babas are like saints who no longer have any worldly possessions. And they just fully focus on their spiritual worship practices. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's guru's guru, his name is Madhavendra Puri, he did that. He took Babaji Vesh and he went to Vrindavan, and in specific he went around Govardhana mountain where this pastime took place. The one we're going to talk. You see Krishna's lifting something on his pinky there? He's lifting the Govardhana mountain. So he was actually sitting and doing his worship around this. And when you become a renunciate, there's a couple ways you could do it. You could become a beggar, and you could say, please help me. You could collect what's called bhikshu. You can 3 times a day you can collect a little bit of food stuff just so you survive. But some people, they're so surrendered that they don't collect anything. And whatever Krishna provides is fine with them. So Madhavendra Puri was actually like this type. He didn't collect anything. Now imagine, you just gave up your house, you gave up everything, and you were sitting in the wilderness, and you were just calling the names of the Lord. He would chant this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and he was just like, whatever Krishna provides, that's it. And if not, if I die, that's okay. So Madhavendra Puri is actually done like this. I'm very happy to see you again on a Wednesday. First Wednesday class, right? Yes, I'm so happy that you're here. So Madhavendra Puri did like this. But interestingly enough, one day he was sitting there meditating, and he was actually in ecstasy in his chanting and meditating. He was thinking about the pastimes of Krishna, and then all of a sudden, some cowherd boy taps him with his stick, and he says, "Hey, Baba." They call like a saintly old guy, India, everyone's Baba, "Hey, Baba, what are you doing?" You know, and he sees this cowherd boy, and he's so beautiful. The Madhavendra Puri is just like, he's like, "My mother sent me over here to give you this milk." And so Madhavendra Puri said, "No, I'm okay. I don't need milk." He's like, "No, nobody goes hungry in this place. If you come here, this is our village, then nobody's allowed to go hungry." So Madhavendra Puri, he's charmed. This cowherd boy is so beautiful. He's so beautiful. So, okay, I'll take it. So he actually drank the milk, and he's like, "I have to go though, but I'll come back later for my pot." And so Madhavendra Puri said, "Okay, very good." So the cowherd boy ran off. Madhavendra Puri has now this pot of milk, and he drinks this pot of milk, and then he just starts shivering in ecstasy. Like better than any drugs you can imagine, just starts shivering in ecstasy. And then the more he drinks this milk, he's just like rolling in ecstasy, crying, tears of love are flowing, and his love for Krishna increases like over and over again. So he's just like, wow, like he didn't exactly know what happened, but he was just like, this is incredible. But he was like anxiously waiting for that cowherd boy again. It's like, well, I don't know what he gave me, but I want to see him again. But the cowherd boy never came back. So he waited till night, and then eventually he fell asleep. But then the cowherd boy actually visited him in his dream, and he's like, "Oh, Baba, if you want to know where I stay, come and follow me." And he takes him in the dream, and he takes him to a place around Govardhana in the jungle. And just when he's about to get there, then he wakes up, the dream's over. And so, okay, what is going on? So he shows him this place, and Madhavendra Puri is now like, well, what is going on? But in the dream, he was revealed, go get the villagers, and then they will help you find me. So, okay, so Madhavendra Puri is telling him his experience. He's telling all the local villagers, this cowherd boy, he gave me this milk. I was just drinking this milk. I was in ecstasy, and so on. And then he takes him to the place in the jungle where the boy led them in the dream. And they're all looking around like, well, I don't know what would happen. But they actually catch a clue. Every day, one of the villagers noticed that this cow would go to the top of this hill, and she would drop her milk into the earth. That's kind of like a strange thing for a cow to do. Usually the cow gives it to a person, or it gives to the calf, but usually, rarely just, "Oh, I'm going to water the earth with my milk." But this cow would do this like this. And so they were telling Madhavendra Puri about this, and Madhavendra Puri says, "I bet you he's there." So then he actually, they actually dug where the cow was dropping the milk. And what they ended up finding was an ancient deity of Krishna, they named Madan Gopal. When the Muslims had conquered India, there were many holy relics and things like the deities that were worshipped in the temples and so on. They were always in danger because the Muslims did not necessarily understand the Indian forms of worship, and they would oftentimes break and destroy all the articles of worship. So many of the priests at the time when the Muslims would conquer and destroy the towns and villages, they would bury or hide the deities. So this happened with this deity, and Krishna in the form of a cowherd boy came and revealed to Madhavendra Puri where this hidden deity was. And he unearthed the Madan Gopal deity, very famous deity. This was an ancient deity actually said to have been installed by Krishna's grandson about 5,000 years ago when Krishna left this world. And it was worshipped for many, many years until the Muslims conquered and then forced him to go into hiding. But then, so anyway, Madhavendra Puri did this on this day, the day we're doing right now. And because actually today is also simultaneously the pastime of this Govardhana Leela, the deity visited him in a dream again, and he said, "My dear Madhav," like we have Madhav here, but "My dear Madhav, please celebrate this festival. I've come here because I want this festival to be celebrated." So now all the local villagers, they're pretty That's pretty weird. This boy visited him in a dream, and then he sent us on a search, and then this cow was dropping milk in this place, and we unearthed and we found this ancient deity. That's all pretty weird, right? If that were to happen, we'd all be asking questions like, what is going on? This is like a weird occurrence. But anyway, this all happened, so all the villagers are actually getting a little excited. So, now this guy says in the dream, the deity is telling him to hold this big festival. So this is the festival that he had them do. So they all were instructed to cook as much as you can to celebrate this pastime. And you'll know why the festival is celebrated the way it is, because this is how Krishna and the cowherd boy celebrated the festival 5,000 years ago. And so we're going to tell it today. But they cooked so much food, made mountains upon mountains of food. We made a little mountain, but they would make mountains upon mountains of food. They would offer it properly in worship to the deity. They would then do parikram. They would circle around it and dance and sing and just be very joyous and festive, which we're going to attempt to do tonight. Normally we have our arati first, but we are having the arati last because we're going to hopefully have an ecstatic kirtan and festival where we properly worship Krishna in the form of this mountain, and you'll understand when I tell the pastime. But this is what happened 5,000 years ago. So now let's rewind. That happened 600 years ago, and then they started holding this festival, and this is why they hold the festival. So, 5,500 something years ago, Krishna was in Vrindavan, and one day, Krishna's relatives, Nanda Maharaj, they were worshipping, maybe I should share one verse of Bhagavad Gita, because this is actually very important, because especially, in the West, like maybe Stella and Chase, right? Our relatives never worship demigods. Maybe if we had like some Wiccan relatives or something like that, they would like worship earth spirits and things like that. But that wasn't really part of our culture at all. But in the East, this is very, very prominent part of the culture to worship different demigods and things like this. So, maybe just to give a quick, I have to Google the verse. Sorry. 9:23. So there's a verse in Bhagavad Gita that says, Ye pyanya devata bhakta yajante shradhayanvita tepi mameva konteya yajantya vidhi purvakam. And it means those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way. So this is Krishna's conclusion in Bhagavad Gita. If you don't know Krishna, before he manifested this teaching where he wanted to give a teaching to everybody, and that's Bhagavad Gita. But everyone has heard of Bhagavad Gita before? Who has not heard of Bhagavad Gita? It's in every spiritual classic, really big personalities like the Beatles, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, Einstein, really important, life-changing personalities. They all studied and got a lot of inspiration from this Bhagavad Gita. If you haven't read it, I recommend reading it. But this is one of the themes in the Bhagavad Gita, that if you're worshipping the demigods, you're actually only worshipping Krishna, but you're just doing it in a wrong way. So actually, all the religions are worshipping one God, even all of them, even if they're worshipping demigods or this thing or that thing and the other thing. They're just, Krishna says here, if you're worshipping other gods, you're doing so in a wrong way. So anyhow, that's one theme. And now why is this important? Because, Madhav, where's that picture here? Okay, good. Why is this important? Because Krishna's parents and family and relatives, when he came to this world, he also had parents and relatives and, so many nice family and friends. He wasn't just like, hey, I'm here, I'm God. Everyone bow and worship me. There were some who recognized and they did bow and worship him. But actually, that's not what God wants. Everyone thinks, if even us, celebrities in this world, they really struggle. Everyone wants to be a celebrity. Everyone thinks celebrities have it the best, but actually celebrities have really unique, you could say, challenges, where everyone is always fanning over them and paparazzi are always, bothering them and pestering them. And a lot of them, if you actually look into their life, they suffer immensely from this because they can't actually just let loose and relax. They're always in the public eye. So similarly, actually, God goes incognito when he comes to this world. Why? Because, it actually ruins the mood of the relationship. Celebrities also have really difficult ability to have intimate relationships with people. Why? Because everyone, wants to use them for their wealth or their fame or something else, and they can't really open up and have like a true friend without, somebody at the end of the day being, hey, can you help out my family or give me money or do this, things like that. So anyway, the Lord also, he accepts the position as God for many. All the religions are worshiping him like that. But when he comes and has personal relations with us, he actually goes incognito. So Krishna in Vrindavan, Krishna in the other places in the world, he didn't go incognito. It kind of got revealed who he was. But Krishna in Vrindavan, in his grow-up place, where he grew up, it was totally incognito. Nobody knows he's God. And that's what makes it so sweet and what's so wonderful, actually. So Krishna, he does so many wonderful things. So one of those wonderful things is that Nanda and his father and the relatives, they were worshipping the demigod Indra. Now Indra is the king of the heaven. And, so I'll tell the story. Krishna, he was saying, he saw all of his relatives, they were working hard to prepare for a festival. They're getting all kinds of food products. They're getting all kinds of worship paraphernalia. And he's saying, Father, why are we doing all this? Why does everyone do this? Please don't, keep any secrets from me. There's a lot of lessons Krishna was teaching in here. One of those things, if you have affection for someone, you won't keep secrets from them. So he got his father to tell him. And then he also taught some other things, hey, we're doing all these rituals, but unless there's a practical reason why we're doing this, we shouldn't be doing all these rituals for superstition and things like that. Even here, we all right, now we're going to worship this to the plant. Now we're going to offer lamps here and do here. If we don't know why we're doing these rituals, Krishna himself says, these are useless activities. So he's saying this to his father. But his father actually, he has the right understanding. He said, well, first of all, this is a tradition that my forefathers have been doing for thousands of years. We've been worshiping Indra because we're cowherd people. And the cowherds are, our wealth is in cows. Like even now we have the stock market. You've heard of the stock market. Well, where does the word stock come from?
Livestock.
Livestock, yes. Animals. Animals are the original wealth, actually. And now even today, the reason it's called the stock market, because this is the original wealth. So anyway, Krishna's family, they were a bunch of rich cowherders. They had animals, and primarily the cows were the main source of wealth, the main livestock, because cows are amazing, because cows can literally eat grass and turn it into milk, and you can make so many things with milk. Milk, cheese, yogurt, and all of the many sweets and derivatives that come from that. But just by getting grass. There's not like anything that you can, if somebody had a business idea, I'm like, all right, we're going to turn grass into this abundant form of wealth. They'd be a millionaire many times over, because what an invention that is. But the Lord made such an arrangement through the cow, actually.
Also, I think,
yes.
like cows, like everything of cows is beneficial. Like it's like excreta.
The stool is the best fertilizer. There's antiseptic properties. Everybody else's stool, every other animal's poop is.
Also, I think you don't. I'm not sure you know or not. Like in the ancient India, even today, that excreta is used as a fuel.
Yes, fuel. I mean, they used to cook with it. They would dry it out, cook with it for fire, and so many things. There's so many. It's amazing.
Also, main vehicle for like cultivating in the rural.
Yeah, the fertilizer, and it's amazing. So even the poop of the cow is valuable. The pee of the cow is actually valuable. Believe it or not. I mean, we don't tell many people this because in the West that like really freaks people out. But even still, when me and my wife, when we do personal cleaning, we actually have like a bottle of concentrated cow urine, and we mix it with vinegar and other things, and it's a very, very potent cleaner, believe it or not. Everything with the cow is actually sacred and wonderful. So in Vedic culture, they never ever eat the cow. This is a great sin to eat the cow. Why? Because the cow is considered to be the mother of humanity because it's giving the milk. But also, everything about the cow is beneficial, and to cause any pain to the cow is considered a great sin. But anyway, so Nanda was explaining, we're cowherd people. And in order for the cows to be fed, we need the grasses to grow. In order for the grasses to grow, we need the rains. We need the blessings of Indra, who's providing the rains. So they know that there are personalities who are helping affect the cosmic situations here. You know, there's a personality controlling the sun. There's a personality controlling the moon and all these things. The pagans and all these things, they also worship like this, also attributing. Nowadays, you know, we say, well, prove it, or something like that. Or, you know, we might not have that experience or revelation, but it doesn't mean we really know. We don't really know very much of anything at all, you know. We can all look at the sun, and this person who looks at the sun from that purview, they appreciate the sun god. And then someone else who just, oh, that's the weird glowing ball of light that gives everything life in this world. You know, so whatever your mood is, that's fine. But they were appreciating that Indra is the one who's providing the rains. And actually they were right. In this pastime, Indra is going to reveal himself. But not the way that you think. It's kind of funny. But Krishna, he actually, I don't know if you know this, but Indra is a worshipper of who? Indra doesn't just get his power, you know, even anyone, nobody gets their power on their own. We all have so much ability, we all have so much things, but actually we get our ability, it's God-given. And Indra also knows this.
Whom does Indra worship? Brahma or Vishnu?
He worships Vishnu. He also worships Brahma, but Vishnu is his prime, you know, where he goes to for, you know, if they're in trouble, they'll always worship Vishnu.
Okay.
So Indra performs many sacrifices, and Vishnu himself will personally come to the sacrifices and collect what's being offered. But Krishna came incognito to this world, but he also came incognito to the demigods like Indra, where they didn't also recognize. But Krishna is like, my devotee Indra, he has great pride. So I'm going to do him a great favor, and I'm going to curb his pride. Also, if you become a devotee of Krishna, trust me, I know, Krishna also has a great plan for you. He's like, oh, you, my devotee, you also have great pride. I'm going to do something wonderful for you. I'm going to arrange a really unique situation where your pride will get smashed. And actually, anybody who's been practicing devotional service for some years, they will say, oh yes, I've had multiple of these experiences already, where now Krishna is smashing my pride. But actually, this is a wonderful benediction, because Indra actually, he's actually not like the rest of the residents of Vrindavan. The rest of the residents of Vrindavan have pure love for Krishna, and like his friends, his family, his relatives. But Indra is in the heavenly planets, and he's what's called a Karma Mishra Bhakti. Bhakta. And a Karma Mishra Bhakta, they want to worship the Lord. Yes, I want to worship, but I want to enjoy some of the fruits of the worship. So this is what Karma Mishra Bhakti is. Krishna, he many times over doesn't recommend staying at this platform. In the beginning, it's good. It's better you worship him and want something from him than don't worship him at all. But after you worship him from some time, if you still want things from God, you're kind of, you don't get the point, and Krishna will do things like he does to Indra, because Indra wants to enjoy. But, you know, to enjoy, to be the enjoyer and to be the enjoyer and to also serve God, they're actually polar opposites. Those moods are polar opposites, actually. So anyhow, Indra is like this. So Krishna says, and when you actually get all kinds of things from Krishna, you start to expect them. And when you start to expect them, if they don't come, you get angry when they don't come. So anything that you have in this world, if you expect it, like, all right, the Lord has blessed me, he's given me a good job, and that good job gives me a good paycheck, and so on. And if that money is not coming, or if this isn't coming, and if it's no longer there, you start to expect it, and if not, then you're angry and you're frustrated. Who took away that which is mine? We think things are ours in this world, but actually nothing is ours. Nothing is actually ours. If the Lord sanctions we have something, we can have it. If He doesn't, we can't. Even Abiram, look, my cute little son everyone is looking at right now. But we wanted a baby for 5+ years actually. But for whatever reason, it was impossible. Everything we tried, impossible. But over some time, finally, when the knowledge came to us how to fix some medical issues that we were having and things like that, and then boom, the baby came. But it's up to God whether actually something is able to be ours, quote unquote. And even now, He's not really ours. We're just kind of borrowing Him for right now, and He has something to do for God. But anyhow,
What is his name?
Abiram.
Abiram.
Yes. It means he's near Ram, and Ram means pleasure. So anyone who looks at him will get pleasure. So he's fulfilling his name as of so far. So, but let me try and tell this pastime because I don't want to run out of time. So Indra is a karma mishra bhakta, means he worships God, but at the end of the day, if he doesn't get what he wants out of the deal, he's not satisfied. We also are advised not to be like Indra in this way. We worship God, but instead of just being grateful for whatever God is providing, we are saying, all right, God, please, I need this job, I need this relationship, I need this thing, that thing, the other thing, I need all these things. So, but Indra is like that. So now Krishna is in his best interest to... No problem. Give me a little leg. So it's in Krishna's best interest, in Indra's best interest for him to be humbled. So he's going to perform this pastime. So he starts talking to Nanda, and Nanda saying, we worship Indra because it's up to Indra to give the rains. But then Krishna starts telling him that but even if there is an Indra, he starts kind of doubting whether there even is an Indra. Krishna is so tricky. He starts giving all kinds of interesting philosophy. Well, we don't even know, you say the rains are coming from Indra, but we see them, the rains are coming from the clouds. And even so, even if Indra is giving what we do, the demigods reward those who do good work. So what's the point of worshiping the demigods? We should worship our work. We should just do, even in today's society, this is the main philosophy of today. If we do good work, we get rewarded. That's why they tell you, Nike's like, just do it. And other people are just saying work hard and get what you want. But this is actually more atheistic philosophy, because we can see that, we work and we get results. So Krishna actually starts giving this atheistic philosophy to Nanda, mainly to get Nanda and the devotees to stop worshipping Indra. Why? Because he knows Indra's going to get upset by this. Why? Because he wants to humble him. So Krishna starts putting out all this philosophy. And even though his philosophy is not correct, but because he's saying it, it's correct. And interestingly enough, he eventually convinces all of the cowherd village people, don't worship Indra. Instead, we work hard. And where do we work hard? We work hard on Govardhana Hill. And Govardhana provides everything. This mountain provides all the water streams. It provides all the grass for our cows. It provides everything. That we need for abundance, all the crops and the nature and everything. We should worship this hill. And if we worship, and he can somehow convinces everyone, instead of worshiping Indra, this demigod, let's worship this mountain and the land that we live on, that provides for us. So even though typically that's not necessarily the Vedic understanding, but because the Vrajavasi people, they do everything they do, any demigods they worship, everything they do is to actually give pleasure to Krishna. That's the whole mood of Vrindavan. Everything is about Krishna's pleasure. So for them, Krishna doesn't want to worship the demigod. Well, if that's what Krishna wants, they're all convinced. Even though they don't think it's a good idea, they'll say, Krishna, whatever you want, let's do it. So what happens is they use all the things they were going to use for Indra, that they normally use for Indra every year, and they make this festival for Govardhana. And Krishna says, we should get all of this food, we should cook it, we should offer it to Govardhana, and when we offer it to Govardhana afterwards, we should all circumambulate the mountain. It's like a 14-kilometer Actually, I've done it before. I've done it a few times. But you circumambulate, you go in what's called parikram, and you'll go around the mountain, and you usually chant, or you talk about the pastimes or something. There you sing around. But they sang and had a great festival, and they had ox carts and singers and dancers, and they had a grand festival around the mountain after making a giant offering. Now Krishna wanted to reciprocate with them, so actually he expanded, because Krishna's not an ordinary person. Krishna is God, and God does wonderful things. And one of the things that God did in this pastime is that he took a giant form of Govardhana, and he infused himself into the mountain, and this is the legend, or the pastime. He sprouted arms, and he came and he took they offered him everything that they could. And usually, like when we offer, like all this food we offer today, we brought before the deities, and we closed the curtain, and we prayed, and we said, Lord, please accept this food. But when we open up the curtain, we still expect the food to be there. But actually, in this circumstance, the mountain, he sprouted his arms, and Krishna informed, like eyes and mouth and everything, and he grabbed all the food and he put it in his cave-like mouth and just consumed the food, and everyone was just shocked. But they were all like, imagine you saw such a thing. Imagine you saw a mountain sprout arms and eyes and everything and reciprocated to your worship. Well, that's kind of what happened. And so now the residents of Vrindavan were like, Krishna was right. What an amazing, look at this. Govardhan came and personally accepted everything. And then in like some very deep I forget the Sanskrit. Abhiram. But I forget the Sanskrit, but he actually said in Sanskrit, in a deep voice, give me more, give me more. But they actually ran out of food. They cooked everything they could, and usually when you cook something for a festival, it doesn't all get eaten, right away. It got eaten like right away. So they were like, we don't have any more. So Krishna said, we should just, so they said, Krishna, what do we do? And Krishna said, offer him tulsi leaves. So we worshipped the tulsi plant earlier. So they offered Giriraj, or the mountain deity, all kinds of tulsi leaves. And then he took it, and he was very, very satisfied. And then, so then after that, they all circumambulated around the mountain like we're going to do. We made the mountain of food, and then we're going to circumambulate and dance around the mountain. That's part of the festival. And they all circumambulated and danced around it. And then when they got back all the food that the mountain consumed, Govardhan consumed. It was all back out there ready for the devotees to enjoy. So then they all had a great big festival, and they're enjoying. And it was so wonderful, and it was so nice. But then, everybody was happy. Except who do you think was not happy? Indra was not happy. Yes, Manali is very intelligent. Indra was not happy. Why? Because that was meant for his worship and somebody else. And us, we, even if we're doing business, and let's say you're doing business and you have a client. Like here, sometimes we have people come and stay for Airbnb. But every once in a while, someone will leave, no longer stay here and go stay somewhere else. And if I'm really in my ego, I'm like, oh, how could they not want to stay with us? They want to stay here, there, and the other thing. We think, we expect things from people. So Indra expected that worship from them. And even he didn't need all that worship, but he's like, I'll show these foolish cowherd people. How dare Nanda, do this? So Indra, he was like, I'm going to take revenge. So he has special clouds, There are certain clouds that just make the rains. And then if you want to cause a hurricane, you have even stronger clouds that will come. And if you really want to just destroy everything, then they're called the Samvartaka clouds. And so Indra got his best cloud buddies to gather, and he said, kill them all. Just destroy all of them. So Indra, this is the madness that Indra had, because he didn't get his little bit of worship. So next thing you know, they're all celebrating. They just had this amazing festival. The deity of Govardhan, it sprouted arms and mouth, and it spoke, and it ate the food, and it reciprocated with their worship, and it was amazing. But then all of a sudden, all these black, really thick clouds just come over the land of Vrindavan. So now they're all like, oh my God, what is about to happen? And next thing you know, all the sunlight that you could see is gone. It starts getting almost pitch black. And next thing you know, rain starts coming down in torrents and torrents. Rain like they've never seen before, and everything starts flooding immediately. The cows are cold, they're shivering. All the people are cold and shivering. But because it's Vrindavan, what do you think they did? Who did they turn to? Krishna. All right. You did this whole thing. It was so nice, but now look what you did. So Krishna, what are you going to do about this? And so the cowherd boys, they're arguing with Krishna, like, all right, what are we going to do about this? And Krishna said, well, I'll pick up Govardhana Hill. But the cowherd boys are like, but we beat you in wrestling. How are you going to pick up Govardhana Hill? And so the cowherd boys, they all decide, I'm going to help you. We're going to help Krishna. But anyway, Krishna, and it said just like a child, like if there was a little mushroom here, and Abhiram just picks up the mushroom. It said just like a child picks up a mushroom. Krishna picked up this Govardhana Hill with his left hand, like you can see here, and he held it there on his pinky. And what initially was a great fearful incident actually became the utmost ecstasy for all the residents of Vrindavan, because for 7 days, because I don't know if you know this, but Krishna, when he does his pastimes, most of the day he's off. With one portion of the day, he's hanging out with his boy friends who are hanging out. One portion of the day, he actually sneaks off with his girlfriends. He's a little bit naughty like that. And then other portion of the day, he's with his parents. Another portion of the day, he's running around the village. But nobody ever gets to see Krishna all of the day. But actually, for 7 days straight, while Krishna was trying to destroy Vrindavan, they all got to witness Krishna. And Krishna personally reciprocated with every single different resident of Vrindavan. Like Krishna was, his mother and father were glancing at him so lovingly, and he's glancing back at them so lovingly. All of the friends and cowherd boys are looking at him, and they're, helping him. Then Krishna looks at his girlfriends, the gopis, and they're all looking at him, and then he makes special eye contact with Radharani. And then he's actually become so enamored by her, he almost, I don't know if this happens, it's happened to me a few times in my life, and I'll say it happened when I met my wife. But when you meet a pretty person in this world, you could be so enamored with them that you just you go kind of go stupid for a minute. And I remember it didn't necessarily happen with my wife, but when I was younger and I was a really more lusty person in my life, I remember this one girl came into the place I was working, and she was so beautiful I couldn't even believe it, and I just I couldn't even talk. But anyway, that's not so important. But actually this kind of happened to Krishna, and he actually started to drop the mountain. The mountain started to tremble, and it looked like the mountain was going to drop. So then all the cowherd men grabbed their sticks, and they're trying to help Krishna. But actually Radharani was noticing what was happening, and she got very angry at the mountain and said, you better stay up so I can continue looking at Krishna in this way. And so it said that Krishna didn't even have to lift Govardhana. Govardhana was levitating out of fear of Radharani. But anyway, that's a whole nother, these are amazing personalities, divine personalities who have mystic abilities beyond our comprehension. But anyway, I'll tell the finishing of the pastime. So Krishna, for 7 days, has these wonderful spectacle of lifting the mountain. No one went hungry, no one needed to sleep, everyone was just enjoying watching Krishna perform this amazing feat. All the lions on top of the mountain, the peaks of the mountain were carving through all these black clouds that were sent. The lions, because everything was empowered. Vishnu's chakra, the Sudarshan chakra, was on top of the mountain, spinning away any type of rain that was there. The residents of Vrindavan couldn't see that, of course, because they're not supposed to know that Krishna is God. And then the lions on top of the mountain are super empowered. They're roaring back at Indra, and Indra's feeling the fear of the lions roaring back at him. So there's many things that are happening here in this pastime. And then ultimately, what ends up happening is after 7 days, Indra realized, okay, that didn't work. That was a bad idea. This person must be more powerful than myself. And he's like concluding, well, who is this Krishna? And it got revealed to him that Krishna is the very person, the one that he's worshipping, Vishnu, who has come to the earth. And so now, like if you can imagine, have you ever been at work and you're doing something at work and you think that you're the boss for a minute at work until your real boss is there and catches you doing something and you shouldn't be doing? Kumari is laughing because it happens to her sometimes. Has that ever happened to you? You take charge at work, but then the boss comes, and next thing you know, you're realizing that you're messing up. So this is what Indra did. He took charge and he thought, I'm going to have my executive order, but actually he started trying to kill his boss and all of his boss's entire family members. Imagine how that would go at work if you tried to kill your boss's family members. It wouldn't be ideal, actually. So anyhow, he did like this. So then Indra's realizing, I'm in big trouble. So, but Indra, what he did, after it was all done, he stopped all the clouds. He sent everything back. The skies cleared up. It was beautiful. It was amazing. And then Krishna put down the Govardhana mountain. And next thing you know, all the residents of Vrindavan they're in ecstasy now. But now they're all talking like, all right, that's not ordinary. I know Krishna, he killed that one demon the one time, but we thought that could be explained. And they started going through all the demons, but he lifted a mountain on his pinky. Like, he must be Narayan, he must be God, he must be something. So anyhow, they all started talking. And eventually Nanda Maharaj, he revealed what was spoken at birth, that actually Krishna would do everything that Narayan would do. He didn't say directly, he wasn't even revealed that Krishna is directly Narayan, but he'll be just like Narayan. Narayan is God. He'll be just like Vishnu. Whenever he comes, he'll do amazing things. And so they all came to the conclusion that, wow, like our Krishna, he's inspired by Vishnu and he's doing amazing things. So then afterwards now, Krishna went to a solitary place because now he knew he had to deal with Indra. And so Krishna just sat there and just waiting. And Indra came. You can actually go to the place. When you go to Govardhana Hill, there's a kund called Surabhi Kund. There's Airavata Kund and Surabhi Kund, and you could go to these kunds, and this is where Indra begged for forgiveness, and then they actually performed an abhishek, or a worship ceremony of Krishna there. But ultimately, Indra went down, and he's smart, because he knew if he got in trouble, once you get in trouble, like if you made your boss really mad, you might want to like buy one of your boss's favorite sweets or something like that. Like, I don't know, have you ever made like even if you're parents, you ever make your parents really mad before? Everyone should have, especially the Western kids. Indians are much nicer to their parents than the Westerners. But the Westerners, we do so many horrible things to our parents. But did you ever make your parents really upset? And then if you make them upset, and you're like, oh, now I'm in trouble. I really did it this time. And like, well, what's mom like? Mom likes this thing, that thing, and the other thing. And you bring, oh, here's chocolates, mom, or here's this, here's that. I'm trying to make amends. So Krishna knew, Indra knew that Krishna liked cows. So he brought the Surabhi cow, actually, from the heavenly planets, who gives like the finest milk in the heavenly planets. And he begs her, please come. But Surabhi is ecstatic because she's like, oh, I've always wanted to meet Vishnu or Krishna. I definitely want to come. So they come, and actually Surabhi has these nice prayers. You can read them in the Bhagavatam, where kind of she just like, really is like, we're sitting here in heaven and we have to worship this guy Indra, but he's nothing compared to you. You are our real Lord. And she kind of like belittles Indra in front of Krishna and worships Krishna. But actually Indra, he was like happy because he's like, yes, this is good. And then eventually Indra also worshipped all kinds of nice prayers you can read, essentially stating that you're the Supreme Lord, I'm nothing, and I can't do anything without your grace. Unfortunately, though, because Indra was the problem with Indra, and you see this constantly in the Bhagavatam, is that Indra cares more about maintaining his things in this world than actually having the relationship with the Lord. So he worships God. He realizes, yes, I should worship God, but he's foolish because he worships God because he wants the things from God. And actually, this is a great lesson that we should understand. We shouldn't worship God because we want something. Even though we do. It's so natural in the beginning. I'm worshiping you, God. All the Indian students are so cute. They don't want to ever come to the temple, but then they have an exam, and the next thing you know, they're coming, touching, and all the things. Everything is there. There's an exam. I want a good grade. Now I'll come to the temple. You like this, and it's so cute. Exam, midterm times, Indians just show up. Now all the Indian students are gone because of the Trump policies. But when they were here, they would just come up in droves, and exam times are there, then next thing you know, everyone wants to worship. But this is actually immature worship. And Indra is the epitome of this immature worship. Mature worship is more like the residents of Vrindavan. We're saying, okay, even if you're giving us bad advice, we don't think we should do it. But because, Krishna, this is what you want, I'll do it. I don't care. No problem. Whatever Krishna wants, that is proper devotion. So the devotee will learn that. And this could be understood through the Guru and the Vaishnavas. You can understand what Krishna wants through his representatives. And you can read his instructions like Bhagavad Gita and in Srimad Bhagavatam here about his pastimes. And Krishna reveals all the things that he wants from us. But if we don't hear about the Lord, then we'll have no idea what he wants. And then we'll just kind of be like Indra. And we'll just... And the main thing is that we'll develop pride. We'll develop this pride because instead of wanting to humbly worship the Lord, we'll get very used to the things that we expect from the Lord, the blessings. Everyone's, oh, I'm so blessed, or, there's these prosperity preachers like Joel Osteen, the Lord wants you to be rich, and like tell you all these things. But this is one level of worship, but this is immature worship. What the Lord really wants is actually to have your heart. That's what the meaning of this song we just sang while we offered the lamps is. What really conquers the Lord is bhakti, your love, actually. You can worship the Lord and you could get stuff. But if he gives you stuff, and Krishna actually said this in his prayer, when Indra sent all the prayers to him, and he said, but when one is my devotee and one develops pride, I will come and deprive him of all of his power and his wealth so that he realizes the situation and worships me again. And you see that as a devotee. Multiple times I've gotten entitled and proud and, oh, look at me, I'm the local priest here, thing like that. And next thing you know, Krishna has to humble me and take this and take that and take this and put me and squeeze me tighter and tighter and tighter until I'm like, okay, I give up. I don't have anything. I'm useless. And so this happened to Indra as well. But actually, this is great mercy on you. If Krishna takes away something from you, it's actually mercy. So this is this is a really good lesson. But we should willingly give up our pride. We should cultivate we should cultivate the mood of Trinadapi Sunichena, trying to be even more humble than grass, thinking we're no better than grass. We think we're so great in this world. Even like a homeless person, even though they're in a really rough situation, they think they're so great. I remember one time, I was at my old job where I met my wife actually. And at the end of the night, we would have programs like this. And at the end of the night, we would pack away all the prasadam and we'd bring it home. But one time we saw a guy outside in the cold sleeping on the sidewalk. So we're like, wow, like this guy's sleeping on the sidewalk. He's really going through a hard time. It's cold out here. So we packed him a nice plate of food. And, we're thinking like, we'll go up to him, we'll give him the food, and he'll be happy. So we go up and we get one of the friends to go outside of the car, give him the food. And he's like, well, what's this? And they're telling him like, oh, it's, vegetarian stuff, blah, 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 blah. He's like, I don't want any of that. You got any coffee? And we were just like, what? Like, you're sitting here sleeping on the sidewalk, and you're like, you could use anything at this point, but this food's not good enough for you, and rather you want coffee from us. But this is the entitlement of us in this world. So proud and arrogant.
Well, that person has no insight.
Yes, but that's most of us in this world. Most of us in this world, we have no insight. We can't recognize that actually what's really important in life. we are, we're so arrogant and we're so proud of what little things that we value in life that we can't actually, even when some amazing opportunity comes in front of us, like for instance, Bhakti Yoga. The people at the Hare Krishna Center, they're giving us spiritual knowledge and insights into ancient Vedic wisdom. And if you practically apply it, it will work. Guaranteed. That's the thing. Like, it's scientific, though. It's not like, all right, you're talking about legends, the mountain grew arms, it did this. Okay, like, if you can't accept that, I understand. Like, even for me, that was like, all right, that's a lot. But if you just apply the process of chanting, if you just study the wisdom scriptures and you just see, okay, is this apply in my life? You're actually going to over and over again, you're going to find yes. That's what conquered me. Is that it will make sense. So anyhow, that's the pastime. Krishna humbled Indra. Indra recognized his useless position. Abhiram, I think, has had enough of the talking portion of the class. And so are there any questions? So, we'll end here for discussion. Any questions on the pastime? Insights, comments?
So is that today's festival called Govardhana Puja?
Yeah, Govardhana Puja. It's actually called the Annakut festival, or the Mountain of Food festival.
What festival?
The Annakut,
What does that mean?
Mountain of Food. Meaning, because I remember in the beginning I told you the story of Madhavendra Puri.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did is they made a whole, like what we did, a replica of a mountain of prasadam,
Okay.
and they offered it, and then they all circled around it, and that's what we're going to do. That's what we've done as well.
Okay.
So it's called the Annakut festival, but it's celebrating the original Govardhana Puja festival. So today is the Govardhana Puja or the Annakut Mahamahotsava, or the Great Festival.
I see.
So yes. So it's very nice festival. But essentially the meaning is of the festival. The insight is to give up your pride and to give up wanting things from God. Better to just please God, and you'll get everything so much better. Like the residents of Vrindavan, they don't care for, all right, I'm worshiping you, Lord, for because I want this, and this. They're worshiping God simply for the pleasure of God. And this is actually the main thing. And if you do worship the Lord for things, and He gives you those things, what's going to happen is you're going to get proud of those things. And when you get proud of those things, do you know what the Lord is going to do to you? Out of mercy for you? He'll take everything away from you. And He'll make you like Indra. And trust me, I've seen it over and over again. Every year, Krishna has to put me through this one really good test where I got a little too proud. So anyway, but this is the Lord's mercy on you, actually. So, this is the essence of the festival. Is there any other questions, comment before we go on to the next portion? Pai.
How to get rid of pride?
How to get rid of pride? Yes. So, the easiest way to adopt any good quality or anything like this is to meet somebody who has that quality, and to see how they act and emulate and take their advice on and see what they've done. We chant, right? Nishchayad. Utsaha nishchayad derya tat karma pravartana sangatyaga satovrite. Satovrite means following in the footsteps of the acharyas. So following in the footsteps of those who have been able to conquer that pride. But the easiest way that I've heard and I've seen is when devotees Niranjan and Nihir, Hare Krishna, and Priti is here. That's okay. Well, you're her ambassador today, and Nihir is here, so that's very important. So if you follow in the footsteps of the acharyas, and you serve those who have those qualities, by their mercy you will adopt those qualities. And then on your own you can recognize places in your life where you're being proud, moods that you're carrying that are not really favorable. And you could at least recognize, oh, I'm proud of this, I'm proud of that, I'm proud of this. And you can beg, you can pray to Krishna, please remove this nonsense from my consciousness. Please help me. And then usually the way he helps you, he'll send you someone to show you. But you, at least one you could recognize. Let's just say you have, I don't even know if I can recognize someone who doesn't have pride. That might be step one. But if you recognize places in your life where you're proud, or you're not humble, or you're greedy, or you're selfish, or this, that, and the other thing, because these things are there. We wouldn't be here in this world if we weren't suffering from these things. Then all you can do is you beg to Krishna to help you. You chant Krishna's name and you beg him to help you, and then by good fortune he'll send you someone who's advancing in that process and who could show you how they made the advancement through it and how you can make advancement. So right, there's make some endeavor, your own spiritual endeavor in your chanting, in your prayer, in your worship, and then Krishna will reciprocate with the mercy, and he'll send the mercy. You can't do it without the mercy. You can try all the endeavors you want, but without Krishna's mercy, it's not going to happen. But if you make enough endeavor, enough intense endeavor, it actually conquers Krishna. He's Bhakterji Tattvam, we sang before. He's conquered by bhakti. So you make endeavors towards Krishna, and he will come and deliver the mercy. But you have to give your whole soul to the project. If you don't give your whole soul to the project, if you're like Indra, you're like, I'll give you some of it, but I want to keep this portion for myself, then Krishna will have to give you harsher lessons to learn and things like that. So don't be like Indra in this circumstance. Unless you have no devotion in your life at all, then be like Indra. At least worship Krishna for material things. But don't stay like Indra. Eventually give up this desire for material things and strive to actually please the Lord for just pleasing the Lord's sake. And then you'll naturally be humble, and he'll send you the right persons to show you how to be humble.
I have a question.
Yes, Manal.
Like Indra also had expectations that the villagers will pray for him, but that didn't happen. So like in our life also, like how to make sure that we have less expectations from the things going on.
Well, when you hear pastimes like this, you can be purified of the idea of having so many expectations. So you can be like, you think like, all right, I expect this job to go through. I know so many Indian students, right? Look at where all the Indian students are. They're less and less here. Why? They had so many expectations about what was going to happen in America for them. But Krishna had a different arrangement, So the best thing, the wise don't have expectations, because it's not going to go how you expect anyway. So better just to not create that situation where you're going to be disappointed. So if you have knowledge of this truth, naturally you'll be less inclined to have expectations. But again, same with Parth, you should meet somebody who doesn't carry as much expectations, or their expectations are not so prominent, and they can kind of remind you of that, and by service and doing like this. But basically, if you're just in the material world trying to act independently, you'll never be able to apply all these things. The way you actually make spiritual advancement is through sadhu sangha. Sadhu sangha is the association of advanced personalities. If you just try to do everything on your own, you only have so much capacity, but eventually Krishna will send a stronger force to curb your pride. Because actually the reason we do things on our own is due to our own pride, actually. That's actually why we do what we do on our own, and why we don't rely on the saints, why we don't rely on Krishna, why we don't rely on his wisdom teachings, is because we have so much pride. So expectations are a symptom of pride, actually. So if we are having these expectations, and also the root cause of it is we're proud. We're not relying on, there's a nice verse, Raghunath Das Goswami, he sings, it goes, Guru goshte goshthaila yishu sujane busuragane swamantre shri namni rajanava yuva dvandva shadane sadadambang hitva kururatima purvam atitarang ayesvantar datas chatubirabiyache drita padaha. So what he's saying Guru, his guru. Goshta is like Vrindavan Dham, or the Dham, the holy place. Goshtala Yishu, the people in that holy place. Sujane, the auspicious Sangha, Sujan, the auspicious gatherings of people, the Vaishnavas. Vasura Gane is the Brahmins. And then he's saying the mantras his guru has taught him. Namni, the holy names. Vrajanava Yuva Dvanva, and then the divine couple in Vrindavan who they're referencing. And then he's saying Sada Damba Hitva. Sada is always, Damba is pride, Hitva, give up that pride. You give up your pride by relying on the people, the ones who are going to give you mercy, like Guru, like the holy people in the Dham. Even the people at the temple. If you're here in Syracuse, I hate to tell you this, but we're the best you got in Syracuse. Maybe you have at home some other good connections to spiritual life. But in Syracuse, this is about the best that is offered. I wish I had better news for everyone, including us, but I don't. This is this is about it. So, rely on your spiritual community. Rely on, chanting, the practices, rely on all of these things, and then you can give up pride. But if you rely on everything else in your life, then pride cannot go, right? So, and same with you, Parth, this thing, it's the same question. How do I give up pride and how do I give up expectations? They're synonymous with each other. But the only way you can do it is you have to rely on channels of mercy. Guru, the holy places. Also maybe once a year take a pilgrimage, go to the holy places, or maybe talk to your the Sujan, the auspicious spiritual personalities like the Vaishnavas, and get the guidance on what should I do. I should go on a pilgrimage. Where should I go? How should I spend my time traveling? They can connect you maybe to really advanced personalities and so on. So anyway. And then, some of you are initiated, like Parth and Madhav, and you'll get mantras. Next initiation will happen, you'll get mantras. You can rely on the meanings of those mantras. If all else fails, we can all rely on the holy name. I also struggle with this as well. All of these things I struggle with too. I'm not free of pride, but I just maybe, I'm a little bit more fluent that I have to give up my pride, where some people might just be learning today, like, oh crap, I'm proud. I'm proud person, And actually, in the West, a lot of people take pride in their pride. they take pride in their pride. They think it's a good quality, but it's not. It's not a good quality. So anyway, this verse is very nice. And then ultimately, if you rely on Krishna, you're the Lord. In this verse, he's saying Radha and Krishna, Vrajan Navayuva Dvanva Sharane, this divine, ever youthful, fresh, loving couple. Then, naturally, your expectations will go, and you'll only be concerned on how to please them. But you'll need help. So we're here to help, actually. So. Keep coming, and less pride will be there. We can't guarantee until I've fully guaranteed that there's no pride left. Then I can maybe give that guarantee to anyone else, but I can't make that guarantee yet. But I can say less. We'll get you less pride if you come here. But at the same time, you want to meet really advanced personalities who are beyond this already, and we invite those type of personalities here, so you can make a lot of advancement through them. But don't think you can do it alone. That's the biggest mistake, actually, that you think that you can do this alone. This is called the Roha Pantha, or the path of essentially trying to do it alone. But this is not our process. Bhakti is coming from a channel of mercy. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that what's the use of a small well when you have a river at your disposal? So similarly, you can go to your own little small well in your life, and you can work on your little spiritual project alone. And that's like a small well. But you can go to a massive river, a chain of mercy, like our Guru Parampara here, which is giving so much mercy. And we're the next link in the Parampara, and we're trying to share that mercy with the common public here. And you can help us do that. And when you engage in save activities like Devanshu and Tanu, they cooked for all day for this feast. Krishna's going to give his mercy like that. So much mercy is coming in these type of activities. So try to get plugged in and see what will be pleasing to Krishna and the Vaishnavas, and so much mercy will come that way. But I also have to do all these things. Maybe one last thing before we have to go on to the next portion. No more? You're tapping out? Okay. I've done it. I've submitted you all today. So, all right. Now what we'll do, I'll do the arati. So, Madhav, you'll sing. Just Gaur arati is fine. You could do Gaur arati, and then, and then everyone chant the Maha Mantra together. And, do it with some love and understand this is your lifeline to connecting to Krishna. It's all in our best interest to connect to Krishna. If not, guess what? He's going to find a unique time in your life where he's going to smash your pride like Indra. So if you want to avoid that, also just, all right, I'm to be more conscious to go to Krishna. But otherwise, even if he does smash your pride, and he probably will, it's good, it's healthy, it's nice. You won't like it. Indra didn't like it, but it was good for him. And Krishna knows that. So you'll also likely, like me, I get my pride smashed a lot, actually. My wife's always watching. I actually watches with great joy sometimes as my pride gets smashed by so many unique circumstances that Krishna puts into our life. But anyhow, it's actually Krishna's affection for us.
It's also said that if you like Krishna, like if he's your Ishtadev, so then he tests you a lot and
Yes.
he makes sure that you're faithful to him.
Yes, and so this is part of the test, is he's going to, see if you have any pride, and guess what? You'll probably still have some pride, and then he'll help you remove it by humbling you. So anyhow, thank you guys so much. We'll do this final arti. At what'll end up happening when we start chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, actually, when we do this, everyone should start circumambulating. We'll move the table out to the center, and everyone circumambulate and chant and dance around the mountain. And